Hello and welcome back to Bear Essential Reviews with me, BearElliott. And guess what? Today we are taking a look at one of my favorites, Jem! Jem from back in the 80s is back, everybody, in IDW's classic comic book series, taking these characters out of the 80s and bringing them into a modern day twist. And I've waited until the second issue of Jem and the Holograms came out from IDW, that was just released this week. I am extremely excited about this because I have been a fan of Jem and the Holograms since the 80s. I used to love this show. I still do to this day. In fact, for a while there, being a toy collector, I'm kind of a fanatic when it comes to completions. And my best friend Danielle, you may have seen her in one of my past videos, she bought on eBay back when the early days of eBay was in existence. She bought a bunch of Jem dolls. She's like, oh my god, these were so cool. And she got them and she's like, they're not as great as I used to like them. Well, she gave them to me. Well, that's a bad thing because if you give me something, I'm going to complete it. And so I ended up going on a little bit of a binger. Some people drink. I buy dolls and toys. It's not a good hobby. Yeah, well, it's a great hobby, just not very good for your wallet. Yeah. And I ended up with every one of the dolls, a bunch of the fashions, and I just recently sold them. You can go and purchase my collection at Big Fun Columbus. Little plug, yeah. So go down there, collect money, get my collection. Back to the IDW comic book series. So Free Comic Book Day was just this past weekend, so I ended up with the collector's edition of all the variant covers for the first issue of Jem. As you can see, she's rather updated. Now, if you don't know the story of Jem, back in the 80s, it's a group of four women. Started out 4, became 5, of Jem and the Holograms. They are this singing group, and they end up discovering that Jerrica Benton and Kimber Benton, who are sisters, biological sisters in the cartoon series, they had a father who created an amazing musical holographic computer system. And he, after his death, he gives it to his daughter, Jerrica. Well, from there, they developed the character of Jem and a whole bunch of holograms, because holograms and everything was very, very popular back in the 80s. And still to this day, because now we have holographic performers. That's kind of creepy of dead people. Yeah, that just creeps me out. But back to the story. So their arch rivals were the Misfits. You have Pizzazz, Stormer, Roxy, and later Jetta was introduced. So the holograms themselves, you have Jem, who is also Jerrica Benton. You have Kimber, who's the keytar, which is the guitar that has the keyboard on it. And you have Aja, the Asian girl, who was the guitar player. And then you had Shayna, who was the drummer originally. And later she was replaced by Rhea, and Shayna became the bass guitarist, I think. So these two rival bands are constantly battling it out, and chaos ensues and all kinds of hijinks. Well, IDW has the license for a lot of the toy-related and movie-related products that Hasbro has. This is one of their newest releases. I think this is kind of in conjunction with, there's a Jem movie coming out, which does not look good. I'm sorry. I'm totally just being upfront about it. It doesn't look good. I'm trying not to judge because I will be doing a review of this movie and I probably will not review it very well. But hey, I'm trying to keep an open mind. I just read some stuff about it and I'm not too thrilled about it. But the really cool thing that IDW is doing is they've taken the classic story and brought it in to the modern day and they've updated it. So this was the original Shayna cover. This is what Shayna looked like originally. Well, they've updated all the characters and this is the cool thing that I like. So here they are. Here's Jem. Here's Aja. As you can see, they're not your stereotypical doll looking, because back in the day, all the dolls looked identical. They had the same slender body like Barbie, but they were taller. Well, now IDW did a really smart thing and made each one of the girls individual. I love that aspect of it. So Aja's a little shorter and a little bit more hippie. And when it comes down to her design, and then there's Kimber and Shayna. And Kimber, Kimber's your traditional, like, very tall. The cool thing that they did about Kimber is they actually changed her sexuality and made her a lesbian, an open lesbian. So I really think this is cool for young children. the tweens, I wouldn't suggest this for young kids, but for tweens, I think this is a great idea because it's introducing that, hey, different sexualities and different characters. They also did the same thing, spoiler alert, in the second one when they introduced the Misfits. The Misfits also had a drastic different design to them compared to when they originally came out. Here's the cover of the second one. So in this one, they kept them a little bit the same, but a little bit different. They changed the ethnicity to one of the characters. Jeddah, when she was introduced in the cartoon and also in the doll, she was introduced as a white girl. But originally, when it was created, Jeddah was supposed to be a black girl. But the creators said they didn't want to introduce a villain that was African American. So IDW has gone back and changed that back to what she was originally supposed to be, that she isn't a black UK character? I don't know she's black. So she's black and she's from the UK. But they keep the core of the personality there, which I really, really like. Also, the characters for the Misfits are also drastically different, so they're not all cookie cutter model-esque type. Also, they made Stormer a lesbian, so is there a possible romance in the mix? Everyone in those fan fictions always thought that Kimber and Stormer had something going on, so is this going to happen in IDW? We'll have to stay tuned and find out. I'm thoroughly enjoying this comic book series from IDW. So go out, check it out, find it on digital and also at your local comic book stores so you can find it. So out of my Barry Central reviews, I'm giving this a 4.5. The reason I'm not giving it a 5 is because, you know, I just think there's a little tweaking that could be done with the dialogue. Yeah. I mean, it's very simplistic, but I don't know. It just seems very... there's something in the writing. I think it's just still coming together. So it's a 4.5 on the way to a 5 for 5 Paws. So this has been BearElliott with another Barry Central review. Stay tuned all week. I'm doing reviews all this week. So it's a theme. Yay! And then until next time, bye, Cublets!
I could go out in the darkness, see you calling my name. I hear you shouting, hear you calling, but it's not the same. Every word that you are throwing right into my back doesn't matter to me, cause I'm keeping my track. Let me go. Let me go.